Hello, we're going to continue with our look at cycles in ecosystems. In this video, we're going to look at the carbon cycle. Carbon dioxide and oxygen are continually absorbed and emitted back into the environment through the carbon cycle. In the atmosphere, carbon attaches to two oxygen molecules to create carbon dioxide or CO2. Carbon is highly important to our life on Earth, as most life is carbon-based, meaning that it is necessary to have carbon in order for our cells to be generated and thrive and life to continue as we know it. Plants, algae, and bacteria use carbon dioxide from the environment to make carbon-rich sugars for energy. Those carbon-rich sugars are known as glucose, and animals will need them too. But plants, algae, and bacteria, when they're making this carbon-rich sugar by taking in carbon dioxide and water and using light energy, they're creating a byproduct called oxygen. This is a waste product for plants, but animals need it to survive. In the diagram, you can see a flower taking light energy in, creating oxygen as a byproduct of making the carbohydrates in addition to the water and the carbon dioxide. And this shows it on a small level for algae. Organisms such as humans, and in this case a cow, break down sugar molecules for energy through a process called respiration. In respiration, organisms breathe in oxygen, use it with the addition of glucose, and from that we make energy in the form of adenine triphosphate, or ATP, and we release carbon dioxide back into the environment. It's a cycle. We need the oxygen, we release carbon dioxide, and it cycles over and over. Another thing that produces carbon dioxide is the burning of fossil fuels in trees. We have to burn trees, possibly for heat energy, or we use fossil fuels, possibly to fuel our vehicles, or other means of mechanical energy. In the diagram, we have plants taking in energy, and it also mentions that the decay. Fungi and bacteria decompose animal waste in animals, and this is what we know as decay, and plant bodies, which releases CO2 back into the environment. Plants will also take in this form of CO2, starting the process over and over again. You also have the carbon cycle going on in the ocean. The ocean is one of the biggest forms that carbon is cycled through the environment. Carbon dioxide is cycled through the ocean through a variety of physical and biological processes. One way is that CO2 diffuses into the water surface from the atmosphere. CO2 also enters into the ocean carbon cycle when tiny organisms called phytoplankton, and by the way, phytoplankton is Greek for drifting plants, use it for photosynthesis and become part of the ocean's food chain. Furthermore, ocean life also produces waste, dies, and decomposes, much like what happened in the previous diagram. And all these release CO2, just like it happens on land. Let me talk through the carbon cycle again. So, plants take in carbon dioxide. Well, Dead organisms release carbon dioxide. During respiration, organisms breathe in oxygen and they release carbon dioxide. During photosynthesis, plants take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen. Animals release carbon dioxide in the form of respiration, but also through their waste. In addition to plants, phytoplankton take in carbon dioxide, and when they die or produce waste, that carbon dioxide goes back into the environment. And given enough time and energy, the carbon that's produced by animals and plants that goes into the ground will turn into fossils and fossil fuels that when burned, you're right, they put carbon right back into the atmosphere.